Hey there, sorry for that random black screen of doom. Well, that's sort of what I'm heading towards. I guess symbolically, maybe my life is heading towards a black screen of doom, but nah, I don't think so. No, it was more like an OBS error, whatever. Okay. So today, what I am going to do, or rather later, since I already streamed today, I got all these rocks that I sort of showed a little bit on my earlier stream that had nothing to do with the rocks. I found these rocks about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, I don't know, while I was exploring some volcanic buttes in the forest outside of town. Well, quite a bit outside of town in the state of Oregon. And I found these only one other time in a cinder cone where there's lava rocks of a peculiar color, particularly along the hues of blue and purple and turquoise, a little bit of green, and a few that are kind of golden color looking, kind of a shiny yellowish color. Anyway, it's not very easy to show those on stream. I could actually do it, but I'm not actually that interested in doing that. You can kind of see them sitting on the table here, but I'm more interested in looking at them under the microscope, which hopefully will show off some of those colors that I just listed. More of the blue, probably, and maybe a little bit of purple, possibly some turquoise. Anyway, I have looked at a few of these under the microscope already, just off screen or off stream, off camera, but I'll just repeat that. Might take a few snapshots as I go along. Kind of fun just to look at them. I don't really have much to say about them other than like, ooh, look at that, that looks cool. So I'll probably try to keep my comments at a minimum. Anyway, I probably won't look at all of them from every angle because it'll just start getting kind of tiring at some point. And at that point I might switch over to my previously scheduled programming of sorting sand particles. It's so exciting. I may or may not do that though. I might just make it a short stream. We'll see. Anyway, let's go for it. This is kind of gives you an idea of what I've been doing. So this is my basic setup here. Have a couple of these lights that I really like. You can actually make these like RGB, any color you want, or just bright white like I'm doing, and those just serve to reflect off the subject and into the lens. This isn't the type of microscope where you have really thin translucent slides and you shine light from the bottom. It's more you have to have lights above and then it just shines into the lens. It's not, I don't even know if you can really call it a traditional microscope, but it does serve the same basic purpose. Look at things up really close, make them look bigger. But it's not really the same principle as the ones you might have grown up with in a science lab or high school science room or something. So it's kind of a newer idea of just it's basically a digital camera with a large lens attached to it. Kind of almost more like a telescope, but close range, like a macro telescope is kind of what I would compare it to. Anyway, so let's go for it. Let's see what we see. So one disadvantage of looking at these three-dimensional objects that have a lot of depth to them, I can't focus on the entire subject in the screen at the same time. I kind of have to pull it in and out of focus. So let's see, I also need to change where my lights are because I can't easily change the focus adjuster knob thing when the lights are in the way. That's a little better, I guess. So like there's that thing in the front that's closer. It's just almost too close. I have to raise my telescope a slight bit here. And of course it's covered by my little camera angle down there on the bottom, but I can always just move it around. So you can see that blue stuff, and some of it's kind of a, I don't know, like a midnight sky color, and then others is a little bit more turquoise. You can kind of see how it's a little bit shiny. You can appreciate the shine more when I actually, if I bother to move the lights around, because then it kind of shimmers from different directions, kind of like this. Which is kind of cool, but I don't know if I'll bother to do much of that every time I look at something. It's kind of hard enough just to get these lights positioned on my messy desk here. Moving them around is kind of a hassle, so I probably won't do too much of that. Pretty cool, right? I don't know what this stuff is. I wish I knew more about it. There's a lot of those, like, they almost look like wiffle balls, or not quite geometrically symmetrical. Oh, excuse me, symmetrical or anything, but they almost have like somewhat regularly positioned holes in these little globe structures. So it's really weird. It's almost like bubbles of rock. Probably as the rock was liquefied and boiling, it made these little bubbles, and then it popped in different places. But unlike, you know, a traditional bubble that pops, it disintegrates. These are made out of rock, so the bubbles kind of remain. It's a sphere type shape but have holes in them. That's my theory. I don't know. I have no idea why they make these weird shapes, but that kind of makes sense to me anyway. But I'm going to try to take a few snapshots while I go, just so I don't have to, so I don't forget how some of these look. I don't know how this snapshot thing works though. Let me check here. Could get complicated actually. Let me just check. I don't know what that's doing. So it's taking a picture of the entire scene in OBS. It'd be cool if it was just that one. I wonder if I can right click on the source. Try that, see what that does. Nope. I don't know, you can right click on any source in OBS and it has an option to screenshot, and then as parentheses source, so you would think that that would actually work, but of course not. It doesn't do anything. I mean, it takes a picture of the entire scene, not the source. That's kind of deceptive to call it that. Oh, I know why. Yeah. Because I have embedded scenes inside of scenes with all my stupid little glowing effects stuff. Which is totally unnecessary, but it's just fun. Anyway, that's why it doesn't work. Have an easy way to get around that. So I'll just forego the convenience of taking screenshots while I go and just kind of look at it, and that'll be what I do. I guess the other thing I could do is get rid of some of my effects, and then I could do it more directly. Like if I go to this scene that doesn't have all the crazy effects, I can probably take screenshots more directly. Let me see if this works. I like my goofy effects though. I want to be able to take those, but then I won't be able to take screenshots, so I guess I'll do it this way. Compromise. Got some pretty cool compositions on in this stuff. Like the colors are cool, but then if you like arrange the rock or shapes in a certain angle, you can get these really cool looking otherworldly shots. That's why I like taking these screenshots. Unfortunately, this, I don't know, it was kind of deceptive marketing in my opinion. I haven't really looked into it that deeply, but this camera, this microscope rather, which like I said is like basically a digital camera with a big lens attached to it. It can take photos, but you have to be in HDMI mode, not USB mode. And I am capturing this via USB, not HDMI through a capture card. So when you're in the capture card, when you're in the USB mode like I am now, it doesn't allow you to take photos directly onto the camera, onto its insertable micro USB card. So basically the camera has a micro USB, kind of like a GoPro or anything else like that. And you can shoot video and photos straight onto that card, but only when you have it in HDMI mode, it seems like. And since I have it in USB, I can't do that. And the reason I'm saying that is if I could do that, I could take way higher resolution photos instead of just 1080p screenshots from OBS. But what I found that the kind of false advertising about that is that it says it's like a 48 megapixel image, and it's totally false advertising, and because while it does shoot an image of those dimensions, it's basically just like an upscaled image, and it's pretty clear that's the case because I looked at it. I looked at the 48 megapixel image in an image editor, and it's just like super blurry and blocky looking. It's like crap. So it doesn't really offer any advantage, which is kind of a shame. Look at how cool that looks though. See what I said? I'm not going to have much to say. All I'm going to really say is look at that. That's cool. But what else can you say? Like, why is there so many colors? There's like green, there's blue, and some kind of purpley color. Some of that, let me see if I can cover up those green lights in the background. Some of that green, yeah, that green color is actually coming from this green light back here. So that's a little bit deceptive. I could turn that off, but that's fine. But generally, most of those colors are literally found in the rock itself. There's a little bit of color coming from the surrounding lights that I have in my room, but that blue is very much, it might be, I feel like it's exaggerating the blue a little bit when it's out of focus, but once you get it in focus, then it's kind of like, yeah, that's more what it looks like. When you like put it out of focus, like all the highlights turn like a really purpley blue, and I don't know what property causes that. It's weird. But that green, since that's not accurate to what it actually looks like, I think I will turn that light off, or at least shift the light to a different color, because I don't want it to be inaccurate. There we go. I can go a lot closer, but I think it looks more interesting when you can see a bigger part of the rock. Plus, the closer I go, the more exaggerated or limiting the depth of field is, so I can only focus on a very small part of the rock. And it's kind of cool. I guess I can kind of zoom in and zoom out as I choose, but generally speaking, it's a little easier on the eye, and you can see what's going on when it's zoomed out, because the depth of field isn't so limiting. But that, I wonder if that's reflecting the yellow light at all, or see that kind of goldy thing up on the top right? I think that's legit color in the rock. Almost like a gold looking color. I don't think that's reflecting anything. Doesn't look like it. Usually if it's reflecting one of my lights, if I cover the light, it goes away. It's still there. Interesting. Wonder what will happen if I zoom out. Yeah, that definitely looks kind of yellowy. Actually, even when I'm zoomed out, it's hard to focus on the whole thing because it's such a jarring depth. Is like a ridge line on a mountain, like very top is the ridge, and it's like fading down out and away the sides. You can make some pretty cool like, scenes for video games or I don't know, movies or something, like just by filming macro shots of this stuff. It just looks like an alien landscape or something. Just taking some screenshots as I go. I don't know, just some of this stuff is, to me, it's pretty awe-inspiring. I don't know if the average person would find this interesting or not. Like I said, I don't know how much to say about it. I'm just like, wow, look at that. It looks like some piece of artwork with a bunch of legit gold and precious minerals. I don't know. No idea what it is, but it's interesting how things have value, you know, like gold and silver and platinum and just random elements and stuff have value, but it's really just about what value that humans assign, and it's based on various attributes. Like most of it has to do with rarity, like how scarce the thing is or how hard it is to mine or different things like that, or its various applications. Wow, look at that. I am no expert in the field, but I'm just kind of saying what everybody knows, same stuff everybody knows. But like in reality, like if beauty is the value of something, which makes sense, you know, like gemstones, like sapphires, rubies, emeralds, and diamonds and things like that. Why wouldn't something like this have value as well? It's like in some ways just as beautiful or more beautiful than a gemstone. Certainly more varied and wild and random in its shapes and colors. But as far as I know, I'm not holding a piece of rock that has any value. It's definitely kind of rare. I mean, I've never seen one before until recently, but probably not rare in the sense of reality. Like probably if you're a rock hunter and things, whatever, miner or something, you probably know where to find limitless supply of this kind of stuff. But I've not come across a lot of it in all of my hikes. This was kind of one of the first times I've seen anything like this, so it really stood out to me. But again, if ever somebody came across my content, my streams or my replays or whatever, and you know about this stuff, I would really appreciate you sharing your knowledge with myself and anybody else that might watch the video. In your comments, say like, oh yeah, that blue stuff, that's this mineral, and that really shiny pearlescent looking stuff, that's what, you know, explaining things or explaining what you know about how these were formed in nature and all that kind of stuff, because I don't know anything about that. I would certainly be interested to learn more, but I don't know how to find out. I'm not going to go scour the internet like for weeks, and I don't even know how to find that information. I guess I could take some of these rocks to some rock shop or something and see what they say. They probably know a little bit. Oh, this one's really cool. I could just look at that one all day, but some of them are more brilliant than others. I have this gigantic one here, for example, that maybe not quite as shiny or colorful, but it looks like they're all dipped in like a glossy paint coating kind of thing. They're just like shinier than you would expect a lava rock to be. This one's so big that I don't even know if I can get my camera up high enough to be in focus. Oops. Yeah, not really. Not for the top part of it anyway. In this case, I feel like rotating it so the length of the thing goes across the 16:9 aspect, kind of just personal preference. And that yellow stuff, that might be, I mean, it could be sulfur or something. I don't know what. When you look at the thing, you don't really see that yellow stuff that in the flesh that much. It doesn't really stand out. Like when I take this rock and just look at it, I don't really see much yellow going on. But when you look at it close, apparently there's some yellow stuff. And this, I'm pretty sure, is too high up to focus on. Unfortunately, that's kind of one of the more interesting spots. I have to like kind of hold it down further so it gets in focus. Yeah, this rock is kind of just too big for my... I'd have to get a taller microscope stand, which I honestly would like to get. I mean, this one's pretty stinking tall and it's good for almost everything, but there are a few very large objects that I put under there that it can't quite focus. These smaller ones that are well within its range to do. Like one of these days I'm going to find like some tiny living organism that jumps out one of these holes. It's not super likely with these because I did try to wash them down. Like I shook them out, I kind of tried to get all the sand out of them because all these little holes are, you know, pockets for just junk to get into. Typically there's a lot of like dirt and sand in each of these little holes. So you kind of got to shake them around every direction to try to get all that out of there. And then actually used like an air compressor to blow them out. And then I kind of dusted them off with a brush. And then I rinsed them off with water. And then I actually washed them kind of with just some dish soap a little bit. And like just a scrubber brush, like a nylon brush. And tried to just get as much of the dirt and stuff off of them so they'd be a little bit shinier. But otherwise, I don't really know what the best way to make rocks shiny and stuff. I mean, I know about like, I'm aware as anybody about just seeing people do the tumblers, but you wouldn't want to use like a tumbler on something like this, so it would get rid of all the sharp shapes, which is, you know, what makes these interesting. That's more for like smooth river rocks and stuff. There's some of the blue on this one. This one doesn't have as much blue on it, but it does have some. There's just kind of reddish maroon magenta color that I'm seeing in reality, but I can't find that under the lens. I don't know if that's just only viewable from a certain direction. Oh, is that it? No, that's just like a piece of fuzz. I don't know if I can get that off of there. That could be. I don't know. Maybe that's not fuzz. Maybe that's literally something that, like a plant part. Let me see if I can get closer to see if that's. It could just be a piece of fuzz, like from my shirt or something, but it could also be like plant stem or. I don't know. That looks kind of almost organic in nature, but at the same time, when you look at like cotton fibers and things really close, they are organic, and maybe this is just something like that. I don't know. It's really, it looks like it's pretty stuck on there though, so I think that's possibly was there. I think just to the right and below that is where I'm seeing that kind of pink color. Like maybe that's it right there. See if I can get that in view. Yeah, I think that's it. It's just like a really vivid magenta reflection there. It's kind of interesting. It looks even more pink in person than it does on the screen. There's a really colorful spot, but part of the challenge is getting these rocks to stand up the right way and they're like such weird shapes that I can't necessarily balance them every direction I want to. That's a pretty cool variety of colors there. Wish I could hold it still so I could get a picture of that. Maybe I can balance something underneath. The other thing I want to try to do at some point is I think it's called focus pulling maybe, or just like focus bracketing basically, like it's kind of like HDR, like take some shots in different focus depths and then try to combine those so that the whole thing looks like it's in focus. I have Affinity Photo, which is like a Photoshop alternative, and I think it can maybe do that. Let me check. I guess I could do a quick experiment on that, but it'd be more something to do off camera because I don't really have a convenient scene for OBS set up to show what I'm doing. That'd be kind of boring if I was doing that off camera. Yeah, it has focus merge as a feature, so I would like to try that sometime. Also has astrophotography stack, which I think would kind of maybe do some of the same thing where it would analyze each image and pick the clearest section of each one. So I might try those and see what happens at some point. Might be able to get some really good clear images out of that. I'm kind of surprised how much yellow there is though. Like I said though, I don't have a way to color correct this camera, the microscope. Like sometimes I feel like when I'm looking at it in person, the colors look different than what I'm seeing on screen quite a bit. So I would like to get those to match up more closely. But I don't know how to do that. I'd have to use like here's some more pearly stuff over here if I can get that. Nah. I don't know if I can get it to balance right. I don't know what I was saying. Oh yeah, I think I have to use like what is that feature called? I can't remember. LUT. I think that would be one way to do the color correction if I could figure out how to get a proper LUT setup for transforming the colors. But that's complicated. I don't know how to do that. If you have a profile from the manufacturer, you just load it and then it color corrects everything. But I don't think this camera is like random brand, and I don't think they have anything like that. It's really dark. Oh, one decision I made like prior to this and the last stream, I don't think I'm going to upload to YouTube anymore. I mean, I've never liked YouTube, but I can't stand YouTube actually. It's part of the reason I'm here on Odyssey and other platforms that I've tried, but that song is distracting me. I'm going to skip it. But I was actually re-uploading all my streams from Odyssey to YouTube prior to today, and I think I've decided I don't want to do that anymore. Part of the reason is it takes a while. I don't necessarily mind that extra time because it's not really that big of a deal. I just have to re-encode them and then upload them. I don't have to sit there while it's uploading or anything. But mainly, one of the main reasons is their copyright thing is so irritating. Like, I'm using music that I have permission from the website where I got it to use for streaming or videos or whatever. It's from OC Remix. I don't know how to proper way to say that, but it's like video game remix music, and everything that's posted on that site is given permission, those permissions. But almost every time, well, that's not true, not every time, but like a lot of the time when I repost these to YouTube, there's a copyright claim on them, and it's usually on the songs that have like some voice vocals in them. Like that last one that I skipped probably would have gotten claimed. Even though that those songs are remixed video game music and added to the site that gives permission to use them, they still get claimed. And I'm just getting sick of it. And partly is I don't want that to ever affect my Odyssey content. Like, because I linked to my Odyssey account from YouTube so they could come over here and then start trying to cause problems on Odyssey to whoever's, doing that junk. It's totally false copyright claims, of course, because that stuff looks like gold almost. I mean, I know it's not, it's just the only way to describe it. It looks cool. So anyway, just because of that kind of stuff, I just don't like hassling with it. It's too annoying. So I'm kind of glad to get away from YouTube anyway. I was just more doing it for a secondary permanent storage place, because who knows if Odyssey will be around forever, and then I'd have to... I mean, I don't save my original video files from these streams, so it's kind of like once I upload them and delete them, and they're gone for good. So that's kind of why I was uploading them to both places, so that, they'd be somewhere for a long term. Not that it matters. I don't know if I'll ever care to go back and watch any of this stuff, but it's just kind of fun to have a history of all your streams and stuff. A record of it, that it actually happened at one point. It's not quite as meaningful right now because, like, so far, like I've mentioned many times, there's not much interaction on Odyssey, at least at this point in time. Maybe that will change in the future as more people move over the platform. If that happens, I feel like that peak has maybe already happened and now it's kind of waning, but I don't know. Anyway, maybe there'll be more viewers and people chatting, but at this point, it's not really anything memorable happening in my streams because I don't get people chatting. But still, it's still kind of fun to have a record of all my streams, even though it's not fun times with hanging out with friends, That was, for me, like, that's happened a lot more on D-Live where I came from. I had some friends there, and people would come by and sometimes have cool conversations and things I'd want to remember. So that's more like, I wish I had those streams captured, because that was kind of good memories and fun times through the years. But whatever, doesn't matter. It's all in the past. This one is super bright and colorful. Could look at this forever, I think. Definitely want to do some focus merges on these. I'll probably make a stream out of that at some point. Try that. I don't want to do it right now necessarily, just because I don't have my scene display capture display capture set up properly right now. Some of those little pebbles of like, I don't know what that is, if that's just a sand pebble, that little yellowish tan thing. Now it's like horribly miscolored because for some reason I've noticed, I mean, it's pretty obvious. When you zoom in on this microscope past a certain, almost like a instant threshold, like here and out, it's pretty colorful, but like right around there, it just like bleeds out the colors and they get all nasty looking. I don't know why that is. So I don't zoom in really far most of the time unless I just want to inspect the kind of general shape of something because the colors just go way nasty. I don't have any explanation for that. It's just something in the lens. It's very undesirable though, so I usually don't go any closer than that just because it looks dumb. This particular one I could just probably look at forever. There's so many cool angles on it. Let me see if I can get this little thing over here on this side because it looks super bright. I don't know if I'm actually looking where I want to. Sometimes it's really hard to tell where I'm looking because it's, yeah, it's a general area, I guess. Just so many different colors, it's crazy. Like I said earlier, this piece of lava probably has no value, but to me it's just, it looks like a precious stone or something. It's super cool. It looks like it's hand painted or something, like somebody just took a regular old lava rock and said, I'll spiff this up with some random acrylic paints and whatever. This side looks the most interesting, but I don't know if I can prop it up. What I could use is like a piece of, well, I wouldn't want to do this, but if I had a piece of like Play-Doh, I could like embed it in that and then it would stay whatever angle I want, but then the Play-Doh would get all stuck in all the little holes, so I would never want to do that. Let's see. Just need like few jigs to prop it up. Can make some little useful jig tools probably. This one has some purple on it, kind of down near the bottom. Might appear more blue on screen though. Like I said, I'm not going to look at every single one of these from every angle, just kind of quick highlights of what looks most interesting. I really can look at this stuff forever though. Same as the sand, like it feels goofy, but I never get tired of it. Yeah, the color matching is very different though. That's totally not what it looks like to my eyes. It looks more like well, at least from the angle I'm looking at, it looks kind of like a steel blue mixed with little bits of lavender color, but it looks like on the screen it looks like super rich dark blue and purple, but I don't know, that's not what I'm seeing. I really like to do a color correction on this camera. I just don't. Don't know how to do it. See if there's any that really stand out. This one looks super brilliant on that corner there. Let's see if I can find that area. No, another one of those red fibers. I feel like I must have either been wearing. I know I wasn't wearing a red shirt. It's because when I'm hiking, I'm wearing my athletic shirts, and none of them are red. So I don't think that could have come off my clothing. And I don't think I ever used anything red to clean them with. So whatever that is, I feel like it probably is a natural thing, like some kind of plant fiber, or maybe some dangerous mold or bacteria that'll do me in. I don't know. Anyway, it's weird stuff. It could be from a shirt, but if it came from a shirt, it seems like a big coincidence that it's the same color on these two rocks that I've looked at, and I don't recall ever having this close to a red shirt of any kind. So let's see. This one is, well, actually this one should work. I was going to say this one might be too big, but I might look at this one also because it, yeah, well, you can't see because the light's dark over there, but that one's really unique because it has some gold looking stuff on it rather than like the blue and purple colors, and might be interesting to see what it looks like under the microscope. It probably won't really appear gold necessarily. There's the color differences of this camera, but it's really hard to locate features that I'm looking at in person and finding them under the microscope because there's so much color and shape variety, and it's like I get lost. There's certain parts of the rock that I want to look at, but I just can't find them. It's like kind of the same concept when you're looking through a telescope and looking for a specific star. You're like zooming all over the place and like, wait, where is it? Or somebody's pointing at something and you're trying to line your head up with where their finger's pointing. You're just like, I don't know what you're pointing at. Same kind of concept. It's hard to find something under a microscope if you're really zoomed in far. That is crazy color. It totally doesn't look that vivid under the microscope. I mean, in person. I feel like I'm seeing another piece of red thing on here too. I was freaked out. I thought I saw like a spider moving on there, but it's some optical illusion, I guess. Alright. These are all kind of similar. There's so many different shapes and compositions found in these colors and all that. So I literally could look at this forever and just try to find really cool angles and stuff, but I feel like as far as the live stream capacity goes, there's only so much patience a person could have to be interested in what I'm doing here. Although, like I've said many times, I'm not really doing anything to gain an audience or following, so as long as I'm enjoying it, we're good, I guess. See, I don't have a clue. Oh, I think I know where I'm looking, so if I go down here, there should be more color. Yes, no, yeah. Oh. It's so weird. It's like mostly black and some yellow things, and then all of a sudden crazy iridescent colors just pop out. This one looks pretty shiny. I'm glad I washed these though. They're definitely more shiny than they were when I first picked them up. As shiny as they were, it really brought out some of that metallic look when I washed them. What would be insane is if some of these little particles on there was gold. I seriously doubt it. It's probably some kind of pyrite or something. I don't really know. I know nothing about minerals. Ooh. Oops. Okay, maybe I'll just do a couple of these ones that do have some of that goldy stuff on it. best specimen, but I'll take a quick look. This giant one has a lot of the kind of goldy color looking stuff on it, but I don't know if it'll really show up on camera. Looks more like peanut brittle or something, not really all that sparkly gold looking. Colors look very different in person though. And like that other big one, it's kind of too big to be able to focus on the highest points unless I get a longer microscope stand. Oh, there's another one of those red stringy things. That's got to be some kind of fungus or algae, or I don't know. I don't know anything about that stuff, but very consistent, those red fibers. If I can locate where I'm at on this thing so I can move to a spot that I want to be. So if I come this way, I think I know where I'm at, so if I go down and to the right, that's where I want to look at. That's where the shiny stuff is. Right around there, I think. Be very careful where you put these lava rocks though. They're super sharp and scratchy, so don't put little scratches on any surface that you put them on if you're not careful. And even holding them, like if you grip them too hard or if it's really heavy, a big one, you're trying to hold it, it just like almost cuts up your skin. Now, like I said, I could do this forever, just kind of searching around for interesting things to look at on these rocks, but kind of getting that fatigue sense of like, my eyes are getting tired and probably should get some sleep tonight. I mean, I could just stay up all night. It's Saturday tomorrow. I don't have any plans, but I could make plans. I could do something. Never regret. I always regret if I don't do something. It's going to be really hot, I think, tomorrow, though. Might be too hot. Let me check the weather real quick. Maybe that'll help me decide if I want to do anything. It's going to be 88 degrees. Well, I should say today because it's 4 a.m. And then on Sunday it's going to be 94. It's pretty hot. I've gone out in hotter weather, but definitely have to be a little bit careful not to overdo it. Let's see. I should probably go to bed pretty soon. I could have done the sand thing a little bit, but maybe I'll at least throw some sand on there just to say that I accomplished what my stream description said. I'm not going to actually do anything with it, but where is my sand? Oh, I could show the iron sand up close just for fun. Also show my little trick of getting it from one place to another. So let's see. So here's my. I've got to get this out of the way. Here's my small jar of iron sand that I collected using a magnet, and I want to like grab a little bit of it and put it somewhere. I use this little piece of paper cone thing, or I can use this shot glass too. It's probably a better solution actually, except that it might be harder to get down inside of this. So I put the magnet inside of that so it'll grab on the bottom of the glass. Just get a little bit of it. Go, and then I can just put that over here. That way it doesn't stick to the magnet. And let's just take a quick peek at that. So as you can see, this is kind of why I still want to try to thoroughly wash it, like with a nylon brush attached to a drill or something. Oh, this song is cool. Maybe I should just shut up and listen to the song. Here's what I'll do. I'll pause it, and then I can listen to that in just a minute when I'm not talking, but... yeah, so you can see it's really dark, and you can also see some of those blue and purpley highlights and shiny things that look similar to the rocks I've been looking at. But overall, like if you look at the individual particles, they look like they're still covered with dirt, like that kind of tan or gray colored stuff. It looks like I could still wash them and make them even darker than they are now. And there's one of those blue purpley ones there in the center. I feel like I can get them a lot cleaner than that. Maybe that's the actual color, and there's, they're not truly black, and there's some brownish tan color to the rocks, but to me it looks like they have like pockets of dust filled with, little holes in the bubbles and holes, just like the lava has, just on a smaller scale, and they're filled with dirt kind of, And so I feel like if I really washed it thoroughly, they'd get even shinier and darker, possibly. Just kind of more like the pure iron metal stuff. Maybe not, but it's something I want to try. I want to try to clean them up a little bit more if I can. And it's funny to call it them because, like, right in the microscope they look like rocks, individual rocks, but that's really just tiny sand particles. So you can't individually clean them. I'm just thinking like a brush processed, motorized spinning thing that would clean all of them. And I put them in like a jar of water filled with water and maybe a little bit of soap, and then the brush on the drill would hopefully just kind of do it for maybe 5 minutes or something straight and see if it cleans off any of that stuff. Anyway, that's what that iron sand looks like. That one almost looks like a organic shell. I don't know if you're seeing what I'm seeing. Like right there in the middle there, almost looks like a spiral, but that's probably just coincidence. Anyway, I wasn't planning on doing, well, I wasn't going to look at this stuff necessarily. I was going to maybe do some sand sorting. So I'm not going to do that because I'm getting tired and want to end the stream, but I'll pick this stuff up. It's cool how easy that is. I wonder if you can see it. I didn't really watch that under the microscope, but maybe you can kind of see that happening. If I put that stuff down, I have to zoom out as much as possible, get it in focus, and then go to where it is and see if this shows these moving. Oh yeah, totally. That's cool. So I have the magnet at quite a distance, but it's still attracting them, and they'll quickly pull up. Boing. Pretty quick and easy way to clean up this particular sand. Don't have to like use a brush or anything. And then I can just drop it over here by lifting it off that cone. Really nice. Okay, so I'm going to play that song, and maybe I'll do kind of an outro just showing some of my normal sand that I usually sort, but I don't feel like I want to stay up all night, so I'm not going to actually sort it tonight. But let me just get a little scoop of that. Where is it? I don't even know where it is. Doobie-doobie-doo. I don't see it. Where is it? Oh, here it is. So this is the cool, big particle sand that I've been sorting on stream, and I'll continue to do so. But I'm not going to do that right now. I'll just do a little outro, listen to the music while just seeing this stuff up close, I guess. So that's what this normal sand looks like. Just every particle is cool and interesting. Anyway, let's listen to that song, and I'll kind of end my stream to that. I think it's a cool song. We'll find out.